He doesn't want the responsibility of being the husband who says, I don't want to be married to you anymore. I feel like he's just looking for ways to get rid of. I'm stuck. Financially, I have nothing. Can't believe I got myself into this position. How dumb is that? I know better.
Watching Janelle cry is heartbreaking. I've watched all 18 seasons of Sister Wives, so I've seen her transformation, and how she looks like a broken woman. I know if you go on her Instagram, it's totally a different story. But seeing her at her lowest point after her fight with Kody is really heartbreaking, very heartbreaking. But I don't even know how she got there because she's the most intelligent person in that family. So I understand what she means. But anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. I've decided to review Sister Wives because I've watched it for years and I think, oh, I have nothing else to do. Why not? Hey, so in this episode, I'll be reviewing Sister Wives, Season 18, Episode 4. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. So the episode starts off with Kody moaning as usual. He's complaining that he feels aggrieved because, Janelle has sort of turned his children against him, and it's like, man, you went away and lived with Robin for months on end and barely visited your wife. You'd only come to do errands and then run back to Robin. And now you're blaming her because you told your children you wanted them to apologize and they stood their ground and they refused to apologize. And now suddenly it's Janelle's fault that the children didn't apologize and the children don't want anything to do with you. And it's like, these are adults. Most of Janelle's, even Savannah is now an adult. So what does he expect? Does he expect her to force them to communicate with him after the way he's treated them? No, she's not going to do that. And also, for him to ask her to choose between her children and him doesn't make any sense. Would he ever ask Robin to do the same? Make it make sense. Anyway, it's heartbreaking to see Janelle where she is because Janelle has been the main breadwinner for this family, it seems. I think because her and Mary were the ones that were working. I don't know whether Mary was working part-time, but it seems Janelle was always working full-time because she felt she more fulfilled as as one of the breadwinners, as someone who went out to work. And so for her to have worked most of her life, for her to have had the finances that the family invested in the properties that they were buying all along up until they bought Robin's property, and she not have anything, this is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And I think this is one of the main reasons why Kody suddenly started to isolate most of his wives. He was happy for Robin to buy a property, but I don't think he was happy the idea that Christine decided to buy a property and Mary decided to buy her family home and kept it in her name and refused to bring it into the family trust. And I think this is why he's now suddenly wanting to turn on you know Janelle, because Janelle has nothing to offer, and so he feels he's in a better position financially because he and Robin have the house, so he can leave Janelle out in the wind and do whatever he wants. And I really hope she's able to resolve this because it's heartbreaking to see where she is. You then have Kody in his massive house with Robin and Robin's children, and Mary's there. Mary, I think, is just getting along just for the sake of it. My opinion on Mary, I know people are always saying, why is Mary still there? I feel like when Mary was catfished, she had a lot of backlash from her family, especially her daughter Mariah. And so because of the way Mariah was so upset with her, I think this is the reason, in my opinion, that's the reason why Mary stayed in the family. I don't think she stayed because she enjoys the way she's being treated, but I think she stayed in the family, one, because she wants someone to be the reason behind her leaving. I think because of the backlash she had with Mariah, she doesn't want to face that again. So she's decided to stay in the family until either Kody kicks her out or Mariah says, Mom, it's time for you to move. That's the impression that I get. Because I don't understand why else she'd be going along with all this. We haven't seen her record in her home this season. So it makes me wonder whether she's just coming occasionally just to record a couple of scenes and then she goes back to her inn. I don't know. With Christmas Eve, am I surprised with this scenario? No, I'm not. I think the only person that shocked me is Mary, but not really, in the sense that Christine was always going to have Christmas Eve with her children. She's now in Utah and she's enjoying herself. She's never going to come back to want to spend Christmas with Kody, given how things ended between the two of them. So seeing her with Mackelty and Mackelty's husband and the rest of her other children enjoying themselves, is amazing. It's amazing. I think Christina looks way younger and way happier since she left Kody. So I'm happy for her on that. And then you have Janelle with her three children. Obviously, the rest, Hunter, I think, is away at work. And the other two, Maddie is now married. She's got a family of her own, so it does make sense. She did say that Maddie wasn't coming, so I'm not surprised with that. And then for Savannah, Savannah is there with her mum. For me, this doesn't make sense. For Kody to say he's upset with Garrison and uh, Gabriel makes sense because of the issues they had around, isolation during COVID. But still, it doesn't make sense because as the parent, you can't abandon your kids just because you don't like what they did. What if it was just him and Janelle? And he was not in a polygamous marriage, would he have disowned his children the way he's abandoned them? It doesn't make sense. And for him to ignore Savannah, who hasn't done anything to him, as Janelle has said, doesn't make sense to me as well. Because I think, if nothing else, he should have driven to Janelle's house first thing Christmas morning, dropped off Savannah's present, said Merry Christmas, my dear, and then went back to do whatever he wants to do with Robin. So for him to not even call her on Christmas Eve doesn't make sense to me. I really don't understand. And as I said before, I think Mary's just getting along to get along and keep the peace with her daughter. This is why she's spending time with Kody, because I don't understand why she didn't go and spend time with Mariah and Mariah's wife. That doesn't make sense to me. It's sad that Mary says she feels like the other woman being in Robin's house because everything is tailored to Robin. And I think everybody in this family now regrets the day that Mary gave up her marriage. Although they might not be honest, I think they regret the day Mary gave up her legal rights to marriage to Kody and gave it over to Robin. Because as soon as Robin became Cody's legal wife, everything fell apart. When Mary was there, yes, people didn't like her. There was a lot of tension and whatever, but at least Kody had relationships with his children. Cody had relationships with his wife. Now that Mary has stepped down and that role has been taken over by Robin, they won't come out and say it, but I think deep down, when they sat down in their little corners, they're saying Mary was way better than Robin. They must regret that decision that Mary made. So on Christmas Day, we really don't see much of Christine because I think Christine said they were going to McKelty's house, I think, and there was going to be family members there, so they wouldn't be recording. So instead, we had Janelle and her children, and Hunter was actually able to come down, so her two oldest weren't able to be there. And it was nice to see them be very appreciative of their mum. Obviously, Janelle was talking about the fact that her children knew that she's been having issues with Kody and that things might be coming to a head whereby she might have to leave Kody because her children felt she deserved better. Janelle has had very highly intelligent children. Her children seem to be highly intelligent and sort of very sort of set in their ways, as in they're very independent and they are career driven. They're people that actually have goals. Even Hunter, he struggled when they went to Vegas, but it seems as soon as he went to the army or wherever he went, he suddenly found himself. So it was nice to see them there comforting their mom and sort of supporting her, during this trying time. It I know it was difficult for them that their dad didn't call or didn't come. And for him to say he reached out and nobody, the door was closed in his face, he's lying. I'm sorry. I find it hard to believe Kody. I find it very hard to believe him. And for him not to even make an attempt to contact his biological children. I know that the adopted children are as equivalent to his biological children, but at least for him to make contact and just say, I just wanted to say Merry Christmas. Even if he doesn't contact them, at least he could have put, some Christmas cards or something through the door just to show that he loves his children and he cares about them. For him to say, oh, it's just me and my loyal wife and my children, and it's like, so are you now not interested in all your other children because their mothers are not loyal to you? It doesn't make sense. Christine left him because she was fed up of his nonsense, so she decided to go. Mary, he's used the excuse that Mary was catfished and she was planning on leaving him as an excuse, but I think, yes, he was upset by that, but I think the thing that upset him the most is when Mary bought the inn and refused to put it in sort of the family trust and wanted to keep it to herself because she felt it belonged to her family. I think this is the reason why he's never forgiven her, and this is the reason why he'll never go back to her. Had she brought her property into the family trust, he would have been back with her and everything would be okay. So for him and Robin, for him to get bikes for Robin's kids and not be seen to have bought anything for all his other children. Does it make sense? I don't know how he feels or what his rationale is, because you're saying, oh, they're very cheap. It doesn't matter whether you bought them for $2. The fact that you bought those children those motorized bikes and didn't think to buy your other children anything doesn't make sense. And this is going to just increase the tension between him and his children. But I don't know. We'll see how that goes. So you have Kody go on a drive with Nathan. Nathan apparently is married to Mary's sister, so that's Cody's brother-in-law. And so for me, this conversation is a bit delusional in the sense that I don't think Nathan is being honest with Kody. I think he's trying to watch what he says on camera, but I wish he'd called Kody out, because he did try in his own way. Because Cody's moaning, oh, I feel aggrieved. I feel like, nobody's listening to me. I only have one wife who's paying attention to me. As someone who's married to Mary's sister, I think he should have had a conversation to say, okay, fine, you're upset with Janelle, you're upset with Christine. What's going on with Mary? If you don't want her, let her go. Give her the permission to go, and she will go. That way, you only have Janelle and uh, Robin to look after, and those are your wives, and those are the ones that you need to cater to. But I don't like the way the conversation was going, in the sense that it kept going round in circles with Kody. Oh, I might as well be. I feel very aggrieved. I have this, fire in me. I just want to be as horrible as I can be, and it's like, how delusional are you being? Because you're being told to take a deep look at yourself and see whether you like the person you see in the mirror. You have been horrible. You've neglected all your other children except for Robin's children. We haven't even heard you phone, Mariah to say Merry Christmas. So make it make sense. Is he not talking to Mariah as well? What did Mariah do to him? I know he's upset with Christina's children because their mother left. So does that mean he's also not talking to Mariah because he doesn't like Mariah's mom? I don't understand it. And he was talking about, oh, this isolation thing for sister wives, and he's just looking for any and every excuse to justify whatever nonsense he's been up to. And for Robin to say, my covenant with Kody was that I would be married into a polygamous family. I don't think so. Kody and Robin like the idea of polygamy when they have Mary and Janelle providing for them and funding whatever they're doing. Because I don't think Christine worked as much as the other two ladies. So they like the idea of Janelle and Mary providing for them, but they don't like the idea of Mary or Janelle sharing a husband with Robin. That Robin doesn't like. She likes polygamy when it comes to finances, but I don't think she likes polygamy when it comes to sharing a husband. Because all this time during COVID, whatever issues they were having, she should have encouraged him. She should have pushed him out of the house and encouraged him to have conversations with the rest of his family. But she kept quiet and pretended to play dumb, and still continues to play dumb. And oh, I wanted to be in a polygamous family. I don't understand why they're arguing. I think all the problems can be fixed. All the problems can be fixed so that you can have money to buy whatever you want. That's what you see. You don't see the fact that Kody has neglected Savannah and has not called her to wish her Merry Christmas. He has not sent her a present to say Merry Christmas. For you, that's okay. You don't get that Truly hasn't received a Merry Christmas phone call from her dad. But it's okay for you as long as Kody is there for your children. Make it make sense. I didn't like that. But then you have Christine come down with her children to sort of be with Janelle, just to celebrate, a second Christmas, and that was nice to see. I like the fact that they still have a relationship and they still get along. I don't understand what really happened between Christine and Mary, because they seemed to be cordial. Even Janelle and Mary seemed to be cordial. I know Mary is saying she's trying to avoid seeming like she's picking sides, and sadly, I think everybody has just decided to just ignore her and just tolerate her for as long as she stays around. It was nice to see that she posted some pictures on Instagram with Janelle's oldest son, so that was cute to see. But I don't know. I really didn't like the conversation in the car. I thought it was a waste of time and space, and I hate the fact that Kody continues to play victim. So you have Isabel, McKelty, and Truly go to Robin's to spend, some time with Kody and Robin and his kids. And am I surprised that McKelty went? No, because apparently when Robin first got married into the family, McKelty lived with Robin because Robin said she was struggling with her children and she needed help. So that's where they created a bond. And I think this bond has continued because even when McKelty went into labor, Robin was on the phone and they were FaceTiming her throughout the labor and delivery. So I'm not surprised that she went there. It still was very awkward. The fact that Kody wanted to be intimate with Robin in front of Christine's children doesn't make sense to me. I don't know where his common sense is. And for Robin to try and play innocent and say, "Oh, he's trying to ask me to sit next to him, and I'm trying to avoid to make making things awkward." Christine has moved on. She doesn't care whether you sit on Cody's lap, whether you give him a lap dance or whatever you do. She doesn't care. She's moved on. Life continues for her. So I don't get why she was trying to make it a big deal. Kody obviously is still moaning about the fact that people aren't loyal to him. He doesn't want to get in contact with his children that are he's had with Janelle, because he says that Janelle is the source of his grievance. She's the reason why he's upset. So he's decided to sort of find peace with Robin and her children. And it's like, make it make sense. You're a dad to 18, 19, and you're only getting along with a third of your children. How does that make sense in your head? How does that make sense in your head that you've decided to abandon all your other children because you're not happy with their mothers? Make it make sense. And for him to ignore Savannah, I don't get it. I think he should have asked Savannah to come when truly McKelty and Isabel came down. That way she would have spent time with her dad. But because he's so upset with Janelle, he's decided to ignore his daughter. The sad bit is all his children can see his behavior. His behavior is being recorded for, eternity, and his children will always be able to sort of pull it back up and put it in front of him and say, this and this and this is the reason why we don't want anything to do with you, because this is what you said about our mothers, this is what you did at the time we needed you, so we're done, we don't need you. And he has no leg to stand on. He cannot complain to them that, no, I didn't mean it, or this, that, and the other, because he said how he feels about their mothers. He said how he's not really wanting to sort of maintain any communication with them. So that's it. One day he's going to regret this decision, because when all the money runs dry, when Mary and Janelle leave him as well, there's not going to be any money for Robin to live the fabulous life she's used to. They're not going to be able to keep up with the mortgage, and she's going to leave him, and then he's going to regret his decision. But anyway, I digress. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye, everyone.